Hello, Vikings. I hope you had a really great summer break. Wow, that's where my head's at. That's what you're thinking. Hope you had a really great spring break. Our first assignment back is Greek gods and goddesses research. Yes, we see this. Yes. Ooh, ah, oh, wow. Okay, here's the cool thing about what we're gonna do today. Today, I get to teach you how to cheat at writing. So you already know the RESA strategy. Restate the question, answer the question, cite your evidence, explain your evidence, and then sum it all up. Today I'm going to teach you something called the say, mean, matter. So you have say, what does the document say? What does it mean? And why does it matter? Okay? I'm very excited about this. This is my favorite way to write. Here's the part that messes people up. With say, mean, matter, and with cheating at writing, you don't write it in order. You don't start with the introduction and then do your body paragraphs and conclusion. You don't do any of that. None of this is going to be written in order. The very first thing you start with is finding your evidence. Now, what evidence, I can hear you asking? You already have the paper. So it is, you are going to argue which of these Greek gods and goddesses, the 12 major Greek gods and goddesses, is the most important. Okay? So how are you going to find this information? Why, you are going to click the link, which you've already done, and you're going to go to Ducksters. There are 12 ancient Greek Olympians that we are going to talk about. We've got Zeus and Hera and Poseidon and Dionysus and Apollo and Artemis and Hermes and Athena and Ares and Aphrodite and Hephaestus and Demeter and Hades. Okay? So those are the 12. Pause the video and choose one of these 12. Then you're going to write their name on the line, on the line, and what they are the god or goddess of. Pause your video and decide. Okay, from here, you are going to choose, whichever one you chose, you're going to click the link next to their name. Okay, or that is their name. And you've got all of this textual evidence. Ooh, ah, oh. But Hawkins! Ugh, it's so many words. Well, you're lucky that I chose this website because you can scroll down to the bottom and you see this little play button. You click play and it reads it to you. Aren't you lucky? Isn't that awesome? And it'll read the entire thing to you. Okay, so very first thing we're doing, because we're cheating at writing, we're not going in order. Very first thing we do is we find our textual evidence. And remember, we are looking for evidence that shows that Zeus or Hermes, or Hera, or Athena, or whoever you chose, is the most important ancient Greek god or goddess. So when we're doing that, are we looking at what they looked like? Do we care that his symbols included the lightning bolt, the eagle, the bull, and the oak tree? Does that show that he's powerful? No. He was married to the goddess Hera. Does that show that he's important? No. So we are looking for evidence that shows that Zeus was, or whoever, was the most important ancient Greek god. Hey, look. Very first piece of textual evidence says Zeus was the most powerful of the Greek gods and had a number of powers. Give me a second, I'm going to write this down and then I'll explain it to you. Even better than writing it, I'm just going to pull it up on the screen. Okay, so you have your note taker just like this. Now, you don't get the luxury of copying and pasting. Sorry, you'll survive. But you are going to copy word for word. You are not going to change a single thing. And you're going to copy it. And that's it. No, that's not it. You need to do two things to prove that you are not plagiarizing. So you're allowed to copy evidence. I request that you copy evidence. You are encouraged to copy evidence. However, to make it so that you are not plagiarizing, you need to include two things. You need to include quotation marks and a citation telling me where you got this information from. Now, when you get into higher grades and high school and college and beyond, you're going to have to do different kinds of citations. To be honest, right now, because I'm teaching how to cheat at writing, all I really care about is that you have these two things. You have your quotation marks that show these are not words that I created. These are words that I stole from someone else. And, well, you didn't steal it, you're borrowing them. and a citation with the website. And I know that technically you're supposed to have the author's last name and the title of the book and the page number and all that. We're cheating at writing. We're making it as easy as we can. Give me quotation marks and the citation, and that's it. And then from there, you would think that you're going to move on to the next parts. Nope. We're cheating at writing. We're making it easy. We're going out of order. We're going to go back to our text, and we're going to find another piece of evidence that shows that Zeus or whoever was the most powerful god or goddess. And you are going to copy again, and you are going to put it in the next box. And that's your second piece of evidence. And then you're going to do it a third time, and you're going to put it in the last box. And that's your third piece of evidence. Okay? So pause the video, go find your 3 pieces of evidence, and copy them down on your paper, word for word. Do not change a single thing. You are copying directly. Finding your evidence is the easiest part of writing. Then, make sure you have your quotation marks and a citation for all 3 pieces of evidence. If you do not have them, you fail. That part. That's, to be honest, that's what I'm looking for. Here's how you get an A for this A part. You copy it directly, you do not change a single thing. You have quotation marks, and you have the citation. And your citation is going to be the exact same for all 3. It's all going to be Ducksters.com. Pause the video, go ahead and do that. Okay, now you have your piece of evidence number 1, your piece of evidence number 2, and your piece of evidence number 3, right? You have all of these things, okay? Now you get to move on to the mean. So here is where you take this quote and you put it into your own words. So if it was me, I would just plain and simple use the sentence frame. This means that, and then I reread the text so I can put it into my own words. Zeus was the most powerful of the Greek gods and had a number of powers. This means that he was more powerful than any other Greek god, including, and then here's where it gets just a tiny bit harder, including his brothers and sisters, right? Because you know this, you have this background information because you read the entire text before you pulled information out. So since I've already read this, I know that he had a lot of brothers and sisters who were also powerful gods and goddesses. But I didn't pull that for the text. I didn't pull that for my writing because that wasn't important. That doesn't show me how Zeus is the most powerful. It just gives me the background that others are more powerful. But now because I have that background information, I can make my writing better. Remember, we're cheating at writing. We're making this easier for ourselves. Reading the text ahead of time makes it easier to write later. So this means that he was more powerful than any other Greek god, including all of his brothers and sisters. And that's it. I've paraphrased it, I've put it into my own words. I've explained what the quote means. Now, I'm going to do that with my second quote. Again, I'm going to put it into my own words. And my third quote, again, I'm going to put it into my own words. I'm going to have you pause the video, and then you're going to go through and do all 3 mean boxes. Now comes not the hard part, but this is the part where you actually have to think. You are going to write at least 1 sentence, maybe 2, talking about why this matters. So I'm going to use the sentence frame, this matters because, why does it matter that Zeus was the most powerful of the Greek gods? Why does it matter that he had a number of powers? Like, yeah, we get that he had more powers and it was more powerful than his brothers and sisters, but why does that matter? So we can say this matters because he was considered the king of the gods, and people want to follow powerful people. Now, is that enough for me to say, yes, I have made my point. I have proved it. Bob over here thinks that Hades is the most important Greek god, but now, because of my arguments, he's changed his mind and he thinks Zeus is the most important. Based on these 3 sentences alone? No. So let's add some more. I'm going to say this proves that Zeus was the most important god because, why? Why? It takes a second to think about it, huh? Why, yes, Casper the Ghost, that's a very good point. Because he was a powerful leader and we don't need an and. We can just do a powerful leader. However, here's something I want to bring to your attention. We have the word powerful here, and here, and here, and here. Do we really want to say the word powerful 4 times? No, of course not. Maybe twice. Maybe twice. So, when we don't ever want to say it back to back. So instead of saying powerful, instead of saying this means he was more powerful than any other Greek god, we can say he was more, I'm gonna cheat at writing, and I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna go to synonyms. He was more potent, forceful, influential. Ooh. But wait a minute, Hawkins, we're not typing. We can't do that. We're on this paper that you made us write on. Like it's the 1950s, we have to write on paper with a pencil. Ugh. So what you're gonna do, my dear friends, is you're gonna go to Google, and you are going to type powerful synonym. Strong, muscular, muscly, sturdy, strapping, robust, mighty, hefty, brawny, burly, husky, athletic, manly, well-built, Herculean. That's funny because Hercules was one of his sons. Tough. Let's go. We're cheating at writing. We're being lazy. We're making life easy, right? So let's say strong. He was more strong, but more strong doesn't make sense. He was stronger. Good call. Stronger than any other Greek god, including all of his brothers and sisters. Now we've still got 2 powerfuls, right? We don't want to say strong again, but we could go back to Google and we can say strong synonym. Video cut out, sorry. So instead of saying strong, we're going to say he was a solid leader. Now you're going to go through and you're going to do this for all 3 of the matters, okay? So now you have your say, your mean, and your matter. You have all 3 of them. Now, moving on, you need your topic sentence and your concluding sentence. Your topic sentence is where you introduce it. And if we're cheating at writing, we're going to make this nice and easy. We are going to say, Zeus was the most, not powerful, most important god because, and if you've forgotten, which is fine, you're going to scroll up, or I'm sorry, you're going to look at your paper, and you are going to say, oh, that's right, it's because he was powerful. He had a number of powers. Because he was powerful. Now, are we repeating the word powerful again a lot? Yes. However, this is our sloppy copy. This is our rough draft. We just don't want the word powerful in every single sentence. Okay? We're allowed to be a little wonky at first. And then your concluding sentence, read your first 4 or 5 sentences together, and then your concluding sentence is where you just wrap it up with a neat little bow. You make it sound good. And here's where you cheat at writing. If your second sentence, if that sounds like a great end, then don't do a concluding sentence. Okay? We're trying to work smarter, not harder. You don't have to fill in every single line. It just needs to make sense. And you're going to do that with all of your topic sentences and all the concluding sentences. Then when you are done, either write it on line paper or type it in a document and submit it on Teams. If you have any questions, ask me. Be good people. Make good choices. Go Vikings.